Hello everyone, welcome to JS Core. I am Krishna Gupta. In today's One Day One Answer initiative, we'll be discussing on the topic of environment. That is from GS paper 3. So basically we see that this is one of the initiative where we are trying to understand that how to improve the answers that are being asked, the questions which are asked in the UPSC examination. Okay, so without taking much time, I will be moving to the next part directly to the question, and we'll be discussing the concept, structure and how to write the answer. So the question is basically put on the industrial pollution of river water. This is the first keyword. The industrial pollution of key in river water is a significant environmental issue in India. Okay, so we are talking about the country that is India. That is an environmental issue in India. Now, in the next part of the question, it is trying us to discuss the various mitigation measures to deal with this problem and also government initiatives. Okay, the government's initiative in this regard. So we have third keyword and fourth keyword here, that the mitigation measures, that the mitigation means one is the prevention measures and another is the mitigation measures. So how to deal with such kind of question if it is asked in exam? Basically this is a question which is asked in 2024 only. This is a 2024 question which is asked in UPSC examination. Now if we see the status of the river waters which is present in India, okay, so concept, if you want to see, we will be discussing the concepts, we will be discussing the structure of the answer, but we need to understand what is the question first. So we have different rivers in India. Basically this is environmental question. So we do not need to draw the map of India. I am just trying to explain you that how we can take approach of on such questions. Now, if we look at the industrial development, so industrial development has majorly taken across the rivers which are present in the different regions. For example, this is Ganga, this is Indus, basically the tributaries of Indus which are flowing in certain direction. This is Brahmaputra, okay, this is Narmada, then this is Tapi, okay, Narmada, Tapi. Basically this is, just give me a minute. This is Narmada, this is Tapi, okay, this is Ganga. There are various tributaries of Ganga, various tributaries of Indus. Then we have Godavari, we have Krishna, we have Kaveri, and certain other rivers like Mahanadi, then Son, okay. So different rivers, Luni, Sabarmati, Mahi, we have different rivers. Now what is happening here? Because of the development of various industries, what we are seeing that, for example, we are seeing the development of chemical industries, industrial development, quite important in India to achieve a kind of a higher economic goal, okay, higher economic goal, that is we are looking forward for the 5 trillion economy, the 5 trillion economy. Therefore we are looking for the increase in the manufacturing sector. Manufacturing sector, it is directly linked to the industrial sector. Now under the industrial sector we have chemical industries, pharmaceutical industries, fertilizer industries, then we have certain other industries like coal industries, then iron and steel industries, then we have power plants, etc., etc., etc. So there are numerous industries which are present on different rivers which are present in India. Different rivers which are present in India. We can look at several industries in several parts of India. Now what happens, for example, certain amount of water is required to run a basic plant of industries which are listed here right now. These plants, they have certain inputs of water which is a fresh water. There is certain processing is done and the output is there. This output, it is consisting certain wastes. This output, it is consisting of certain waste. If this waste, it is not disposed properly, if it is not disposed, it results into the pollution of rivers. It results into the pollution of rivers. The working of industry is one thing, but the management of the waste, if it is not disposed of properly, waste will be there, it is not one of the issue. The waste is being generated in developing countries, the waste are also developed in the developed countries, okay, but the management of waste is one of the issue which is India is suffering right now from. What is being done, this water, this waste which is included with the water, it is directly thrown into the streams of water. It is directly thrown into the streams of water, because of which here we are processing the industry. This is the industry which is processing it, and it is resulting into the pollution of rivers. So here we can see that how the industrial pollution of a river is significant environmental issue. Now we need to interlink it with the environmental issues which is to be provided here. Now how it can impact the environment, we need to discuss that part. Now first thing what it will do, that it will include certain chemicals. It will include certain chemicals. These chemicals, they can have impact over health of not only humans but also the animals. So I am writing zoonotics, the health of zoonotics. Then it can degrade land. Because of the accumulation of large amount of chemicals or the waste in certain regions, it can affect the land of that region. Third thing what we can see, that the biodiversity which is present in certain regions, it will also be affected. For example, the Ganga river dolphins, fishes, etc. Okay, so it will also be affected. Along with that, the trees and plants which are also part of the biodiversity, they will also be getting affected because of this part here. So what we are seeing, that we are seeing the causes of these process, the causes of the environmental issues which we have highlighted here. There is chemical issues which is impacting the health of human beings and also the animals. Then biodiversity will be impacted, the land will be impacted. Okay, along with the land, what we will be seeing, that there are various other sectors which are interlinked with the air, water, they will also be getting affected. For example, there will be bioaccumulation and there will be biomagnification. So here we can see that we have enlisted the certain environmental issues which are attached with the industrial pollution of the rivers. Now, what we need to understand here, that what is the demand of the question? The demand of the question, this is the first part which we need to address. Okay, which we need to address. Second part of the question is demanding on the various mitigation measures to deal with this problem and also government initiative in this regard. So when I talk about the next part of the question, I need to highlight the mitigation measures. I need to highlight the mitigation measures. When I highlight the mitigation measures, I need to see that what can be done right now, to lower the impact of the polluted water on the various environmental areas and dimensions which we have seen in the previous part. So here we can look out for various kind of solutions, which can be technological solutions, For example, the effluent treatment plants can be made. Effluent treatment plants can be developed. For example, one of the plant which is developed in Hyderabad, that is developed in the Hyderabad's Patna Cheru region. Hyderabad industrial area. Here one of the effluent treatment plant have been developed to address the issue of water. In Hyderabad we see that we have one of the important rivers, that is Musi River. Musi River, it is saving the Musi River from getting polluted. Next thing what we can see that we can adapt next stage, that is the zero liquid discharge method. The zero liquid discharge method, it is basically a method where the water and the pollutant, it is taken out, it is recovered, and the water which is fresh, it is recycled again. So here it is working on the principle of recycling. If we look at the applicability of zero liquid discharge method, it is implemented in various states. For example, Maharashtra, Gujarat, then we have Karnataka, also in the northeast part of India. Also in northeast India, the zero liquid discharge method has been implemented. Apart from it, the cleaner production techniques can also be used. The cleaner production techniques can also be used here. For example, in Gujarat's pharmaceutical industry, in Gujarat, this system has been implemented. Where it is encouraging the industries to adopt sustainable practices which minimizes waste generation. So here we are working on the minimizing of waste generation. Here we are working on the minimizing of the waste generation. If the waste generation is reduced, then the pollution will automatically, it will reduce, which will be going into the rivers. So looking at these parts, these are certain technological measures which can be provided. Apart from technological measures, there are certain regulatory and monetary measures can also be applied. Regulatory and monetary measures. Here we need to see the certain acts and regulations which are working right now, and we need to strengthen them so that the monitoring of the effluents which are being done. Okay, so here we need to take one concept, that is the concept of the source point, the source point of pollution. The source point of pollutions which are needed to be highlighted. When the source point of pollution or water pollution or river pollution, when it is identified, then this regulatory and monitoring measures can be applied. For example, there are certain laws which are provided on the water pollution, that is Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act of 1974. Water Prevention and Control Act of 1974, which is working and identifying various industries, the source point of the industries, and trying to reduce the effluents which are coming out of it and trying to reduce the pollution. Similarly, there is continuous emission monitoring systems. There is continuous emissions monitoring system, which are also working on the real-time monitoring of the effluents which are coming out of the industries. So these industries can be mapped. And the real-time assessment of data, that how much polluted water is coming out of an industry, it can be gauged. So this particular monitoring system, it has been implemented over the National Mission for Clean Ganga, that is National Mission for Clean Ganga. It has been implemented to monitor the water sources over these regions. Apart from this, there are polluters pay principle. Polluters pay principle. In the polluters pay principle, the penalty has to be provided. The penalty has to be implemented on the industries who are not following the advisories and the guidelines which are provided by the government. Now, apart from this, if we look at certain initiatives which are taken by the government, so certain initiatives when we see which is working on this part, okay, so which is working on this part, so we see that there are certain initiatives such as the Namami Gange mission. Government initiatives, Namami Gange mission. This Namami Gange mission, it is working for the cleaning or the mitigation measures on the river Ganga. And this measure has been successful in identifying the source points from where the river is getting polluted. So this is one of the river. Next river plan is the National River Conservation Plan. National River Conservation Plan. This National River Conservation Plan, it is focusing on the major rivers like Yamuna, Godavari, where we are trying to develop the mechanism on which the solid and waste management can be they can be improved, they can be implemented in a better way. For example, in Delhi, the Yamuna Action Plan, it has been implemented for reducing the common effluent treatment plants and enforcing the pollution control laws in a better manner. Apart from this, there is another part where the government is taking initiative in the form of corporate social responsibility. Under the part of corporate social responsibility, the government is trying to implement, or it is trying to address from the industries itself, that how to make industrial development more sustainable. So for certain industries, the corporate social responsibility, it is made mandatory, okay, it is made mandatory, and certain industries, they are also working for the betterment of the rivers. For example, the Jamuna terminaries, which is present in Kanpur, it is working for the rejuvenation of the Ganga river. For example, in Delhi, the Yamuna Action Plan, here the solid waste management system is being working, which is developed by the private companies. It is working for the betterment of the Yamuna river. So here we see that the various industrial pollutions, okay, we have seen in the part of the chemicals in the previous part, which are getting into the rivers and which are polluting them. So we need to work on the principles and we need to implement the policies in a better manner along with the technological solutions to have better solutions for the problems like the industrial pollution of river water and environmental issues. Okay, now when we go for the other part, we have seen the conceptual part, that the concept part is the source point, non-source point. Okay, in the concept part we can see, here we can see the waste, if not handled, it will be converted into pollution. Okay, this pollution, if it is not disposed properly, it will be degrading the environment. And the waste, it is coming out of the industries, but industries are also important because it is the part of the manufacturing sector. Manufacturing sector, if we talk about, so it is for the economic, it is important for economic development. So waste is not a problem, but management of waste, it is the focus area. It is the focus area where the technological solutions and regulatory plus monitoring solutions are required along with the administration. Okay, we can also add up here the public participation. Okay, so these are the certain concepts which can use here for the structuring of the answer. Okay, so this is the structure of the answer. So guys, we can say that it is the question on the industrial pollution of rivers. So a question is also provided to you. Do write the answer. Will you meet you in the mentorship session? Thank you very much.